Hey, Scott here, and I'm here to show you my guitar collection. The one I'm playing right now I've had for about 5 years, but it's exactly like the very first guitar I ever had. My dad got it for me when I was about 14 years old. After I've been playing his acoustic for a couple months and showed that I wasn't going to quit. I'm a lot better on it now than I was in 1989 though. So without further ado, here's my guitar collection. First up, as you saw in the intro, is my Skot SL2. As far as I can tell, it was made in 1986. As I said, this one I've had for about 5 years after getting nostalgic and wanting another one, but I started out on one exactly like it in 1989 at the ripe old age of 15. My dad bought this and a little PV practice amp from a friend of his for my birthday. I didn't know anything about setups or anything, so it played like crap, but I did learn the basics on it. I played on it for several months until I received my first upgrade to a Squier 2 Stratocaster. My second guitar was a 1989 Squier 2 Stratocaster. Again, this isn't that one, but as with the Skot, I've been looking for one exactly like it for a couple of years. My uncle found one and gave it to me for my 50th birthday last year. I still have the original white pickguard and electronics, and it sounds good, if a bit quiet. I wanted to be able to gig with it, so I dropped in a loaded pickguard with a humbucker so I could keep up sonically with my others. It plays pretty nice, so I use it a lot for practice and learning new songs. Around 1993, I decided I wanted to try my hand at designing and building a guitar. I wanted a combination of the offset Jackson Rhodes V and an Explorer. I had bought an Area Pro 2 soloist type guitar off of school made a year earlier. My dad and I used all the cavity measurements to plan the routing, and we used the original Korean neck. We picked up a couple of slabs of maple, cut it out, planed it, used Forstner bits to route out all the cavities. I originally wanted it metallic charcoal gray, but at Dad's suggestion I kept the natural wood look for a while, but it just wasn't metal. So years later I finally painted it the right color. This neck isn't the original, as the original got broken, but the pickups, bridge, and neck plate are all still Area. Around 2001, one of my best friends asked me to mod one of his guitars to look like a big mean looking skull. I liked this so much I wanted one of my own, similar but different. I used the old Area Pro 2 body that had been stripped down, painted, drawn on, used as a candle holder and wall art. I won't go into all the crap I had to go through to get it like this, because that'd be a whole other video. Let's just say it was very time intensive. The TS stands for Thin Skull, which was to be the name of the band we wanted to start. I did have to make it a hardtail, as the trem post wound up busting through the wood on the inside of the tremolo cavity. This is a 1999 Mexican 70s series Strat that was given to me by my dad a few years ago. I changed the pickguard and covers from white to black, but I still have the original stuff. It's been modded with Fender noiseless pickups, and I swapped the bent metal saddles for more comfortable solid ones. This early 80s Japanese Vantage FV575 was a $50 marketplace find. It had been horribly painted and the truss rod was inoperable. The original electronics all worked though. I always wanted a guitar like Metallica's James Hetfield's OGV, so I stripped it down, pulled off the fretboard, replaced the truss rod, reshaped the headstock, and painted it white. I had to buy all the hardware and a new pickguard, and I think it turned out pretty good. The tuning stability isn't the greatest, to be honest, but it sounds great and looks cool. I have a few acoustics in my arsenal. This one's a no-name nylon string student classical guitar. The original owner was going to toss it, but offered it to me first, so of course I'm going to take it. It's decent, sounds really good, and is actually one of my go-to guitars for just picking up and plunking around and trying to do rock guitar parts. This is an early 90s Fender San Miguel acoustic. In the early 90s I had the acoustic electric version of this guitar. It was called the Libre. Nice guitar, good full sound, but without it being electrified I can't use it live. I bought a passive piezo system to put in it, but I haven't gotten up to there to drill holes in it. Now that all the oddballs are out of the way, welcome to the Ibanez section of my collection. If you can't tell, I'm a huge Ibanez fan. This one right here is Apollonia. She's a Gem Junior. She's one of my favorites. Every time I pick her up, I can't help but play this. Hey, good job, babe. She's learning. Now on with the show. Another $50 Facebook find. I bought this Ibanez Talman TCY10E off a friend who had it posted for sale. I always had a love-hate relationship with acoustics. I love the sound, but I hate the way they play. This one's smaller, not much bigger than an electric, and has a nice thin neck. It kind of sounds like a cardboard box straight up, but sounds great plugged in. This is one of my most recent acquisitions, a 2022 Ibanez All-Star in transparent black. I do not feel the same way about this guitar as other acoustics I've owned. It sounds great whether it's plugged in or not, has a neck like an electric so I'm not fatigued after an hour, and it looks really freaking cool. I'll be using this one for future shows with my acoustic trio Sunset Blue. This is my only bass currently, a Korean-made 2003 Ibanez SR305. I always loved the look of the Soundgear basses, and when the opportunity presented itself to buy this fairly cheap off a friend, I took it. I mainly use this for recording purposes. This is a 1985 Ibanez Roadstar 2 RS410. As with the majority of my collection, I bought this guitar from one of my Facebook guitar buddies. It had been painted some weird cosmic puke color scheme and had fasteners and eye hooks screwed into it, an extra hole for a tone knob, and the original Pro Rocker bridge was long gone and replaced with a Strat style trim. I stripped it, filled in all the extra holes, plugged the original tremolo anchor holes, and re-drilled for a Floyd style trim. Then I painted it a cool blue purple chameleon color with all chrome hardware. Nice simple setup, but not as versatile as I usually like, so I don't play her much. This 1990 Ibanez EX370 is also a fairly recent acquisition. I believe it was a spot model, not widely produced, and isn't in any catalogs. She's totally stock and is in close to mint condition. I've only seen maybe 2 others pop up since I posted about mine in my Facebook guitar groups. They made a Flame Maple 370 that was a catalog model starting in 1992, but they had gold hardware and didn't come in this particular color. I have a soft spot for the old Korean EX models, as the first Ibanez I ever owned was a 1990 EX350. This is my 2021 Ibanez GR131DX. She's one of the few in my collection that I bought brand new. She looks like a stealth bomber. The only real mods I've made were to swap the open pole pickups with a covered set from another Geo, added a single coil in the middle. The body was already rounded for 3 pickups. And I added a Metallica Black Album snake. She's one of only a few hardtails I have, so I use this one a lot for practice and learning new songs because I can tune her however. I've gigged with her too, and she holds her own. This is an Ibanez GRX40. I'm unsure of what year it was though. It was a $70 pawn shop find, and I was originally buying it for the neck to transplant on another guitar, but I like the guitar so much I kept it intact. I have swapped the pickups out for whatever's in there now. It's been a while, I can't even remember. I glued rhinestones to the Pig Garden logo and also the Dollface logo for the band I was in at the time called Glass Betty. She's semi-retired now, but I play her out occasionally. Another Ibanez GRX40 I got cheap from Marketplace. I rattled it out for a floating tremolo and added a locking nut. This one's a 2003 and had the Ibanez Fat 10 2-post tremolo, so I just used the original post for the tremolo. I just had to drill them deeper. I did an all-silver paint scheme, chrome hardware, pickup covers, and mirror film on the pick guard. She's tuned to drop C sharp, and I use her regularly in my band Smoke and Mirrors for the drop tunes set. This is a 2011 Ibanez RG5EX1, all stock except for a copper mirror film on the front and headstock. Since I had silver and gold already, the wife said I needed a copper one. She's really bad for my addiction. This is the third one of these I've owned, and they're great guitars and can be found cheaply enough, and you don't have to feel bad about doing weird mods to them. You'll see one of the others later. This is one of my craziest projects to date. Goldie started out life as a $90 Ibanez GRG 121 that I easily tripled in parts, paint, and sweat. I wanted a Les Paul, but Ibanez RG style, so I made one. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail here, but I did fill in the original control cavity, routed out a Les Paul style cavity, added a tune-o-matic, set the neck, and bought a set of hand-wound 58 PAF clones. One of them is being repaired right now though, so I'm waiting to get that back. It's been almost a year now. I made a full 15-part build series on this guitar while I was building it, so check out the link in the description for that. This one was my wife's idea and one of my most recent builds. She's a huge Elvis fan and suggested a pink Cadillac guitar named Gladys after Elvis's mother. The guitar is a 2010 Ibanez RG120 routed out for a floating tremolo and a locking nut. I also modified the body to front route so I could mount the electronics to a pickguard. I've done this to a few guitars now. The body and pickguard are gloss pink. The front is covered in faux black leather, all chrome hardware with retro radio dial type knobs and a genuine Cadillac V emblem. And yes, I do play Elvis on her, thank you very much. Apollonia is a 2016 Ibanez Jim Jr. The White Jim has been a dream guitar of mine since the first White 7V came out in 1993. Later on, I'll tell the tale of the late Scarlet, which became two different guitars after my wife bought me this one. I swapped out the Cosmo black hardware for gold and the plain white pickguard for a pearloid one. The pickups are stock. As I said, she's one of my favorites. This is another of the few guitars that I bought brand new in 2018. I always thought the old Jim VSK was super hot, but rarity and cost will forever keep that one out of my grasp. So I bought a pink Jim Jr., painted the lines called black, the vine pink, and added yellow knobs. The hardware got swapped out for a Goto. The original standard double lock tremolo started having issues after about a year, so it's gone. I kept the stock pickups. I think they sound great. This is in my top 3 craziest builds. After Goldie, I thought about what a Gibson SG might look like, Ibanez RG style. The next from a Korean Ibanez Destroyer that I had laying around for years. It's a 24 3/4 scale, so I couldn't use it on anything that I have. I was given a hunk of microlam plywood, which I traced and cut an RG-shaped body out of. I made a video of that build as well, mainly a slideshow with a song that I both wrote and recorded with the guitar. Check the description for a link to that. I mentioned the late Scarlet earlier. This is half over. The body is from a 1996 Ibanez RG470, which I made all of the gem mods to: lion's claw, monkey grip, and angled output jack. After several iterations, she ended up looking like a white Jim 7V, with Tree of Life inlay decals and everything. Halfway through preparing to repaint her a brighter white, my wife bought me Apollonia, and this project changed direction. I bought another regular RG470 neck, replaced the dots with snapped-off Phillips screw heads, gave the body a texture black finish, and created a clone of one of my other favorite gem models, the 7DBK. DB. Debbie. Get it? I have her tuned to drop C for some of the heavy stuff I'm writing for my side project, Mindshock. I'll drop a link in the description to both the original Scarlet build and to Mindshock's song Shock, which were both recorded with this guitar, albeit in different stages. Scarlet's other half, the neck, went to this project. I bought an Ibanez Pia style body from Fedar Guitars out of Belarus on eBay. The pictures don't do this finish justice, as if you look closely, the wood grain shows through the clear candy red paint. I named her Lorena after my wife's middle name. The pickups are an oddity, Ibanez V3 and V4 humbuckers. I think they only used them in 1 or 2 models in the early 90s. She also has Goto hardware. Way back in 1991, when I was 17, I had my first Ibanez, an EX350, for about a year and was looking to upgrade to a higher-end guitar. I went back to the same store where I got it, a place called Ace Music, local to me, which is now called Hometown Music. And hanging on the wall was a bright red orange RG, and I fell in love with it. It was used and had the typical RG body chips on the edge, but was gorgeous. They told me it was an RG 750 and the color was 5-alarm red, and they wanted $650. I didn't have the 50% down payment that day, but when I went back after I got paid, it was gone. To this day, I've never seen another one in person. I settled on a laser blue RG 550, which I still have. It's coming up later. Anyway, 25 years later, I decided I was going to own one, come hell or high water. I looked and looked, contacted people, but never got responses, or they wanted an extra leg that I didn't have, so I decided to source the parts to build one for myself. 2 of my Facebook buddies stepped up to the plate, and one named Paul found the body on eBay, an original 1989 body with a stock 5-alarm finish, and another friend, Nick, sold me a black all-original 1989 RG 760. I already had Grey Bob and Ivy's USA F2 humbucker, so out of those 2 guitars, I built a totally period-correct RG 750. Basically body swapped the 760. All told, I built it for the same amount the store was asking in 1991. And I got my dream guitar. I named her Lilith after the mythical first woman before Eve, the one that got away. After building Lilith, I had a spare body lying around. I wound up buying an RG 570 neck from Nick, the same guy who sold me the guitar in the first place. So I rebuilt her with gold hardware and got a hold of more gray IBC USA pickups. I named her Madeline because the black and gold color scheme reminded me a lot of the Ibanez Voyager, the signature model of Red Beach from Winger, who of course had a song called Madeline. Jezebel's pretty much a stock 2019 Ibanez RG450DX. I put yellow knobs on it. I needed a yellow guitar to complete my rainbow, or metal Skittles as my wife calls it. Man, this girl's been through hell. I bought her brand new in 2003 from the aforementioned Hometown Music. I had ordered a white RG350DX, but Hoshino wasn't shipping anything due to a corporate restructuring, so after waiting for months, I settled on a jewel blue RG370. 5 years later, I painted it neon green and attempted to swirl it. It was horrible. So I eventually did some mods and painted it an approximation of the 5-alarm red I had fallen in love with years earlier. After I built Lilith, I went with the flat black and red paint scheme that the Ibanez Geos were showing up with. That lasted a couple years, then I decided to go with neon green again. She's named after pinup model Betty Page because years ago she used to wear several Betty Page stickers. This is the laser blue RG550 I mentioned earlier. I got her brand new in 1991 when I was 17. I kept her until 1996, sold her, and then found her again in a pawn shop in 2007. I've had her ever since, and though I've done many pickup and pickguard swaps over the years, I always go back to her stock parts. She's definitely been a workhorse, and she'll go to the grave with me. She's also the first guitar I ever named. Regina incorporates the RG in the model number. Another fairly recent purchase, Starla, is a stock 2019 RG450DX in Starlight Blue. She's one my wife found on Marketplace and sent to me. I said I really don't need it, and she says, yes you do, you don't have this color, let's go get it. Man, I wish I had done more documentation of this one while I was building her. The Ibanez SA body was a $40 eBay find. I always liked the S series but hated how thin they are. This has the shape but has a flat back. The neck was another $40 and was from an early 90s Ibanez EX. The body has an all-access neck joint and the neck had a square heel, so I contoured the neck heel to match the curved body joint. I routed the body for a Floyd, modded the nut area to put on the locking nut. This is the first guitar I'd ever done these mods to, so I was a little bit nervous. Now it's nothing but a thing. Because of the SA and EX hybrid status, I designated a custom model number, the SX66. The purple is her second paint job. I originally had it black with burgundy burst around the outside, but we needed purple for the metal Skittles, so I had paint mixed to match the strap my wife found. I told you she's really bad for my addiction. This is a bone stock 1998 Ibanez RG550 I picked up a couple years ago because it was cheaper than they usually go for. I didn't need it, and it's another black guitar, but she rips and I love her. This one I picked up fairly recently, and it's a bit of an oddity. She's a 2005 Ibanez RG220 made in Indonesia, but she has the Edge Pro 2 tremolo instead of the Edge 3 that's typical in Indonesian models. She's totally stock, except I bought a set of skull and crossbones inlay decals. She reminds me of Kirk Hammett's signature ESP. Keen is a total mutt. The body is an Indonesian RG370 I got cheap from eBay, and the neck is from a 1999 RG220. I had the idea to make one that looked like an old jean jacket like we used to wear back in the day. So I hit Goodwill, bought the biggest pair of Levi's I could find and covered the front in denim. I even cut off the little red Levi's tag and stuck it on there. Got a bunch of metal band patches, Metallica, Megadeth, Sabbath, Slipknot, and one from my friend Alan's former metal band, Bloodrun. The back has stickers from some of my own past bands, Rewind, Dancing, and my current main band, Smoke and Mirrors. One from my buddy Chris's band, To Be a King, and another Bloodrun, and two from rock goddess Jasmine Cain. Down the side, I have my other former band, Glass Betty, memorialized. She's getting that dingy, sweaty look of a well-worn, unwashed jacket, and that was the point. Last but not least, in fact, she's the most, the She-Hulk. 2 guitars in one. Half Ibanez GRG 121 converted into a 12-string with a go-to bridge, half Ibanez RG5 EX1. Despite the amount of work that went into her, it wasn't as crazy as you'd expect. Still in my top 5 though. I won't go into great detail here because I made a video of this build too, the link is in the description. She doesn't get out much, I just built her because I wanted to. I think she weighs about 15 pounds. The plan her standing up for a long time isn't going to happen. She's definitely fun to mess around with though. Well, there you have it, my entire collection as of April 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check me out on Facebook with my band Smoke and Mirrors, and check the links in the description for the gold top, the RSG, and the double neck builds. See you around.